Welcome to the Pleiadian Star Tribe Talk Show. We are so glad you chose to join us today. We're going to be having a conversation that really pulls back the veil on some ancient prophecy and connects it right to the heart of, well, what's happening now, our current reality. Our mission today is a pretty deep exploration. We're looking into one of the most, I think, compelling spiritual mysteries out there, the legendary 144,000. We've gathered some really fascinating source material suggesting this number is, well, way more than just a count from scripture or, a random head count. It's apparently a resonant frequency, a code almost, a rising global movement. So our goal is to really try and extract the essence of this prophecy, ground it a bit, and figure out what this awakening means for humanity, like right here, right now. So to start setting the stage, I want to turn to my wonderful guide here. Who are the 144,000 really, and what does their current awakening, this global stir, what does it mean for us, for the planet?
That really is the core question, isn't it? Because when people hear the 144,000, the mind often jumps straight to something exclusive. Hierarchy, a closed group, the chosen few, separate from everyone else. But the truth, or at least what our sources illuminate, is just so much bigger, more inclusive, more beautiful than that. The material makes this really clear. The 144,000 are not defined by a title or a lineage or any kind of external marker. They are instead a chosen vibration.
A chosen vibration. Okay, that immediately shifts things, doesn't it? It moves away from a fixed group.
Yeah.
And opens it up to like an energy field, something anyone could potentially tune into.
Exactly. It's an accessible frequency.
So if it's vibration, what does that feel like? What does it entail?
Think of them as this huge, unified chorus of awakened hearts, a collective. Souls who made a very specific, conscious choice to incarnate right now during Earth's, most pivotal turning point. The number 144,000, yes, it's whispered in ancient prophecies written about for millennia, but for those who are meant to resonate with it, it's alive, it's a stirring frequency. It represents souls activating right now to fulfill a really profound covenant, a spiritual contract, you could say, made way, way before our human concepts of time and space even existed.
A covenant. That sounds like a contract of service, maybe under difficult conditions. What kind of service are we talking about energetically?
Precisely. That's the right word. Each soul vibrating with this frequency is described almost like a candle in the dark. They carry specific codes. Peace, unconditional love, deep remembrance. It's encoded right into their spiritual DNA, not the biological DNA, you understand, but the soul's multidimensional blueprint. They are like the seeds for the new Earth consciousness. And what's really crucial is their diversity. They don't fit one mold. They aren't all in one type of job. They're everywhere. Healers, artists, empaths, sure. But also entrepreneurs, wanderers, rebels, quiet mystics. You find them woven through every single layer of human experience.
It sounds like they're designed almost to infiltrate everything, every system, every structure on the planet. So the transformation happens from the inside out.
Exactly. It has to be resonant internal. It can't be just external. And to really get the scale of this, the monumental nature of their task, we have to look beyond just the Book of Revelation. That's often the only place people hear the number, right? But we need to stress its cosmic purpose, its deeper purpose, was never about creating a boundary or a hierarchy. It was always, always about frequency, about establishing a template for divine completeness.
Okay, let's decode that frequency then. Because the number 144,000, it carries huge power in numerology, in sacred geometry. What does the divine symmetry of that number tell us about the purpose, the scope?
It really reveals the core blueprint of the mission itself. The number 144,000 is built on this sacred equation. It speaks directly to how spirit and matter converge. It's 12 times 12 times 1,000. That's divine symmetry right there, manifested in human potential.
Let's break that down, because just saying 12 times 12 doesn't capture the depth, does it? Let's start with the number 12.
Okay, 12. It's everywhere, isn't it? In nature, in cosmic cycles, it represents divine order, completion, structure. 12 months, 12 hours on the clock, 12 zodiac signs, 12 apostles. It signifies foundations. But in the context of the soul's blueprint, specifically, 12 refers to the 12 strands of the soul's light body.
Wait, the 12 strands of the soul's light body. Okay, for someone hearing this the first time, can you expand on that? What do those 12 strands represent? Is this about activating our full spiritual potential?
It absolutely is. Physical science sees the double helix of our DNA, but spiritually we understand the body is designed to house a consciousness that's multidimensional. So the 12 strands represent 12 aspects of the self. They connect the physical body to the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, even galactic consciousness. When all 12 strands are fully active, that individual is operating as a fully sovereign, multidimensional being. That's the intended human blueprint. So when you see 12 multiplied by 12, it's like an intensification of that divine completeness. It's human potential squared, really anchoring that divine framework in a super coherent way.
Right, that makes sense. Which brings us to the multiplier.
Mm-hmm.
1,000? Multiplying by 144 feels pretty complete already. So why the 1,000? What does that magnification do?
The factor of 1,000. That's what takes the mission from the personal level to the planetary level. In esoteric numerology, 1,000 magnifies. It speaks of infinity, vast expansion. It signifies the ripple effect, spanning generations, whole systems. It's the difference between one person healing themselves and that one person becoming a channel for the healing of 1,000 others. It's the 1,000-fold ripple of just one conscious act of love, impacting things we can't even see.
So the synthesis.
Yeah.
12 times 1,000. It's not just personal enlightenment. It's a blueprint for transforming society itself.
Absolutely. The number represents, beautifully put, heaven multiplied by earth, intention multiplied by awakening. It symbolizes humanity remembering its original design, unity consciousness. The 144,000 as this collective frequency, they generate an energy field, strong enough to anchor that multidimensional energy of heaven, the 12-strand blueprint, right into the dense physical fabric of our world. It's the ultimate meeting point of coherent spirit and physical matter, creating a stable platform for the new reality.
That's quite a powerful analysis. And it brings us to the really poignant part of this story. The choice these souls made. Our sources talk about a situation before they arrived, a time of forgetting. What exactly happened? Why did the planet need this, cosmic rescue mission?
Yeah, it's important to frame it right. Earth, cosmically speaking, is understood as this living library of creation. It holds records, frequencies of life from all over the galaxy. But a long time ago, she entered this cycle, a deep amnesia. A dense period. Her energy grid got saturated with fear, separation, the illusion of lack. It wasn't a punishment, necessarily, more like a natural cycle of contraction, of density. But this dense environment made it almost impossible for the natural light of unity consciousness to shine through. The planet was kind of stuck, vibrationally speaking, in a low coherence loop.
So a call went out. From the planet itself, maybe.
Yeah.
Or its consciousness.
A cosmic call, definitely. The sources detail how, responding to this deep vibrational need, the great councils of light, these high-level organized collectives, they started gathering volunteers. We're talking star families, dimensional architects from all over the cosmos, people who specialize in energy architecture, evolutionary cycles. Our sources specifically mention the Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, the Blue Ray, and many others beyond even those names.
Wow, the diversity of those groups alone suggests this mission needed a really complex, multi-layered approach.
Yeah.
What did these different councils bring to the table for the 144,000 mission? What was their expertise?
That's a great question, a crucial detail. Think of them like specialized teams. The Pleiadians, often called the record keepers, they provided the emotional blueprint, templates for healing the heart, remembering unconditional love. The Sirians brought the technology of consciousness, deep understanding of geometry, patterns, grid work needed to stabilize Earth's energy fields. The Arcturians contributed higher wisdom, knowledge for rapid acceleration, both technological and spiritual. And the Andromedans offered that perspective of sovereignty, freedom, helping break cycles of control and separation. And the Blu-ray beings, who we'll talk more about, they carried that intense clarifying light of divine truth and compassion.
So with all that expertise pulled together, the question they must have asked these volunteers, it must have carried enormous weight.
It was profound. The sources frame it beautifully. Who will go and remind humanity of what they are made of? Who will carry love into density and remember even through pain? It wasn't exactly an invitation for a relaxing trip, It was the ultimate act of courage, service.
Carrying love into density. That means signing up for the hardest human experiences, doesn't it? Embodying the duality.
It was the ultimate sacrifice, in a spiritual sense. These 144,000 souls stepped forward, their hearts ablaze with cosmic knowledge, unwavering commitment. But they knew the price of incarnating into Earth's dense, dualistic environment. Their memories had to be completely sealed, shielded behind these heavy, thick veils of amnesia.
So they literally agreed to forget who they were, where they came from, why they were even here, just to become fully human.
Yes. They chose the full human arc. To fall, to break, to forget, to remember, and to rise again. This direct, visceral, personal experience, hardship, struggle, eventual triumph, that was the only way for the light to be truly anchored into matter. The pain they endured in their human lives, that wasn't a mistake in the plan. It was the plan. It was the mechanism for grounding the highest light. If they just parachuted in with full memory, they couldn't have resonated. They couldn't connect with the people they came to help. They had to learn the language of human suffering first, from the inside.
Okay, that leads us to a very practical question for anyone listening right now. If the 144,000 aren't identified by a title or a badge or belonging to a certain group, how do you recognize this frequency in yourself? How do these souls start to connect with this remembrance? Our sources call them signatures of remembrance.
Right, and these signatures, they aren't loud alarms going off. They're subtle internal compass points, like breadcrumbs the soul left for the personality for when the activation time comes. We can identify 5 pretty common and persistent characteristics that seem to unify this collective, no matter their specific star origin or mission details.
Okay, please take us through those indicators. What should people look for?
First, there's this persistent, often lifelong feeling of just not quite belonging here. These are the souls who look at Earth's established structures, the focus on money, power, competition, and it just feels off. Cognitive dissonance. They might feel closer to nature or the stars than to, the concrete realities of human society. That feeling of being a wanderer, dropped on the wrong planet. It's not inadequacy. It's a symptom of holding a multidimensional view in a world that often feels very flat.
I think many people can relate to that feeling.
Second, they tend to have a deep, sometimes overwhelming sensitivity to emotions, sound, suffering. They're like the collective's energetic sponges. They feel the planet's pain, the suffering in the news, the anxiety in crowds, so acutely it can be debilitating sometimes. Often labeled highly sensitive people, or empaths. They need solitude to recalibrate, otherwise they risk serious vibrational burnout.
Which, like you said, can feel like a real handicap in our loud, busy world. But what you're describing is actually an advanced sensory system designed to read the collective need.
Precisely. It's the antenna. It lets them register the energy shifts, see where healing is needed most. Third, they often experience moments of just unexplainable knowing. Maybe powerful flashes of purpose, strong déjà vu, or times when a truth just hums inside them, totally bypassing logic. It's like the memory of the covenant briefly peeking through the amnesia veil. Not thoughts, but deep visceral truths, sudden knowing.
Right.
Fourth, there's an unshakable pull, almost compulsive, towards healing, creativity, or some form of service to humanity. Even if their day job is, say, accounting or truck driving, their personal time gets consumed by this drive to serve. Maybe they're secretly writing healing poetry or spending weekends on environmental work or creating art that channels light. They just can't not serve the light, even if they don't fully grasp the spiritual root of why.
Okay. And the fifth one?
And finally, and maybe this is the most defining one, they have endured darkness. Profound hardship, deep trauma. Yet they have consistently emerged more compassionate, not bitter, not cynical. They use their own breaking points, those moments of deep human pain, as fuel for empathy. They went through the fire of human experience and consciously chose to rebuild with wisdom, not walls of defense and resentment.
That last point. It says so much about the commitment level. To carry that much sensitivity in a dense, often harsh world, and then use the pain to refine compassion instead of building defenses. That takes incredible inner bravery. It really shows the covenant being fulfilled through sheer endurance, doesn't it?
It really does. The fact that these souls didn't just survive the density, but used it as the very mechanism to purify their compassion. That's the measure of their activation. Their personal healing is the service.
And this brings us right to now, this present moment. We're living in what our sources consistently call the Great Activation, the time the ancients saw when the veils thinned dramatically.
Yes, and this is where we need to manage expectations a little, because the shift is happening, but maybe not like the movies portray it. It's not one sudden dramatic event everyone sees on the news. The awakening is happening in waves.
Tell us more about these waves. How is that different from everyone waking up at once?
Think of it less like one giant stadium spotlight flicking on and more like stars flaring to life across the cosmos, one after another. The 144,000 aren't all activating at the same time uniformly. The sources suggest distinct waves continuing even now. There was the first wave, the pioneers, often awakened early, sometimes decades ago. They cleared the really dense karma, built the initial scaffolding, often faced intense isolation, trauma being the first to break old molds.
The trailblazers.
Exactly. Then the second wave, which is the largest group, the builders. They're activating more now, using the path the pioneers cleared. They're grounding the light into their jobs, families, communities, making the new consciousness practical, sustainable. And then there's a third wave, the anchors. They might seem the most normal, but their very presence shifts the field. Often activated just by resonance with the first two waves, each soul lights up. And that light, through sympathetic vibration, lights up the next soul, until Earth's whole crystalline grid glows like this vast, interconnected net of light.
So the transformation is subtle, more internal than external, maybe.
Exactly. The awakening is often a quiet return to authenticity, to radical kindness, and crucially to stillness. It means overriding the constant noise, the distractions of the world, and learning to listen to the soul again. It's internal alchemy, really, turning pain into wisdom, chaos into peace, shadow into gold. It's subtle and often missed because people are looking for some huge external miracle without realizing the miracle is happening inside their own heart.
That idea, shadow into gold, that's powerful. So in daily life, how does this subtle shift actually show up? How does the activation of one of the 144,000 start to change the physical world around them? Can you give us some specific practical examples from the sources?
Oh, absolutely. We see it in these fundamental shifts in purpose happening right now in very ordinary settings. Take the example of a nurse, already doing vital work, right? But upon activation, she stops seeing it as just clinical duty. She consciously starts channeling, say, blue or gold light into her hands while tending to patients. She shifts from caretaker to frequency healer, integrating energy work right into her hospital shift without needing a new title or anything.
Wow.
Or think about a teacher. Instead of just focusing on rote lessons, standardized tests, the old paradigm, she feels intensely guided to teach mindfulness, emotional literacy, self-regulation. She prioritizes the student's inner landscape, understanding that consciousness is the real foundation for learning.
So the core motivation changes.
Yeah.
From external duty to internal guidance. Heart-centered contribution.
Precisely. And look at the writer. They stop just writing to entertain or distract or sensationalize. They start channeling words that genuinely heal, uplift, clarify collective truths. They become conduits for truth, often surprising even themselves with the depth that comes through. And that classic figure, the wanderer, the soul, who never felt right in the concrete jungle, they finally make the choice. They leave the city, the density, to live more in harmony with the earth, maybe start a small intentional community, or just dedicate their life to ecological restoration,
Right.
re-anchoring that human-Gaia connection.
And as these individual lights flare up, they must be starting to find each other.
Yes, the 144,000 are connecting now, often without even consciously realizing the shared covenant. It happens through incredible synchronicity, through energy, through light. They meet online, in person, sometimes in dreams. Through coincidences just too perfect to be random, it's the energetic signature recognizing itself. The chorus is finally starting to harmonize. That's the symphony of remembrance.
You mentioned several councils earlier, including the blue ray. You said it seems particularly resonant now in this activation phase. Given the powerful energy you channel, maybe we could spend a moment on the blue ray frequency. The source material highlights it.
Yes, the blue ray. It is indeed a specific, crucial frequency awakening powerfully right now. It carries this signature of fierce divine truth, but also immaculate divine compassion. Cosmically, it's linked to Archangel Michael, the protector, the bringer of truth, and also the star system Sirius, known for high-frequency knowledge. It's a light that cuts through illusion like a laser, but not with force or violence. It does it with the highest vibration of love. It's like the spiritual sword of light, demanding impeccable integrity from those who carry it.
And what's the specific role, then, for souls vibrating with this strong blue ray frequency within the larger 144,000 collective?
They're described beautifully as the translators between worlds. That's their primary function. Their job is to take these very high, fast, sometimes overwhelming vibrations coming into the planet, photon energies, solar flares, and translate them, make them actionable, understandable, digestible here on Earth. They turn pure, raw vibration into language, complex energy fields into art, collective chaos into immediate clarity.
Can you explain that translation process a bit more? How does a blue ray soul turn vibration into art or clarity?
Well, it involves kind of interpreting the energetic weather for everyone else. For instance, a Blu-ray writer might suddenly find themselves writing about very specific light codes or geometric patterns that when you read them, subtly activate your own dormant DNA. Or a Blu-ray musician might use sound frequencies specifically designed to break down fear patterns in the listener's nervous system. They're natural communicators, often feeling this need to bring structure to chaos. Their work often focuses on healing the fragmentation from the time of forgetting, making truth simple again.
And you stress that the most powerful thing they do is simply by being.
That really is the core of the Blu-ray, and truly the essence of the 144,000's activation. They help others remember who they are simply by embodying the calm in the storm, acting like a lighthouse, emitting that steady, unwavering signal just through their presence, their maintained coherence. They don't need to preach or argue or lecture. Their frequency itself does the heavy lifting. If just one soul can hold peace amidst turmoil, that frequency becomes available to the whole field, inviting others to tune into it.
That really simplifies the mission in a profound way. The focus isn't on strenuous external doing, but on authentic, high-frequency internal being.
Precisely. That's how the 144,000 fulfill their role, by achieving inner mastery and then living authentically from that place of remembrance. The transformation Earth is undergoing. It's happening, as the source says, not through revolution, but through resonance. When one highly attuned soul vibrates at peace, the planetary grid subtly, inevitably shifts to match.
Okay, let's synthesize this. Individual resonance leading to a global objective. Given this huge wave of awakening, the 144,000 must have shared goals, collective objectives. What are the specific mandates they're working on, consciously or unconsciously, to anchor this unity consciousness?
Yes, we can definitely distill their global mission down into about 5 interconnected mandates. When these are fulfilled, they essentially guarantee the transition into the new Earth template. The first mandate is to anchor higher frequencies into the collective grid. This means building new, stable, sustainable, energetic architecture for the planet. It's not abstract. Through individual meditation, conscious breathing, maintaining personal sovereignty, these souls act like energetic lightning rods. They draw on higher light codes and lock them into the physical matrix of Earth, making sure the grid doesn't collapse under the weight of all the current chaos.
Stabilizing the foundation. Makes sense. What's next?
The second mandate: transmute fear and distortion through love. They are the ultimate alchemists here. Their job is to take the dense energy separation, division, historical trauma, and dissolve it using the highest vibration there is: unconditional love. In daily life, this looks like choosing empathy over outrage, collaboration over competition in business, forgiveness over grudges in relationships. They're basically neutralizing the collective shadow energy.
That sounds like exhausting but absolutely necessary work, given the polarization we see.
It is intense work, but again, it's done through presence, not struggle. Mandate 3. Reconnect humanity with Gaia and the cosmic heart. For centuries, humanity has lived under this illusion of separation from nature, from the cosmos. The 144,000 are the living bridges back to understanding Earth is sacred as a living library. This happens through advocating for the environment, practicing gratitude for the Earth, prioritizing living in harmony with natural cycles.
Right, reconnecting.
Mandate 4 is critical. Restore balance between the masculine and feminine energies. This is both internal and external. Internally, balancing logic, masculine, with intuition, feminine, action with receptivity. Externally, it means transforming societal structures that currently overvalue aggressive action and competition, infusing them with collaboration, care, emotional intelligence, the feminine qualities.
A huge rebalancing act. And the fifth mandate.
Mandate 5, create communities based on soul connection rather than survival. This is the practical, on-the-ground manifestation of the new Earth. It means shifting the whole paradigm from competitive scarcity, guarded resources, to collaborative abundance, fostering communities built on shared truth, mutual support, heart-centered living. This is where the symphony of remembrance becomes a physical reality.
That is a truly monumental task list, covering everything from the planetary grid right down to our personal relationships. But you've emphasized that despite the complexity, the actual requirement for fulfilling this is quite simple.
It's the paradox, isn't it, of high service. The mission isn't about striving for perfection or working yourself into burnout. The essential daily requirement is simply about being present. If you are present, grounded, aligned in your heart, you are contributing to the field just by existing in that state.
Can you detail that ripple effect more? How does one person's moment of stillness actually affect the whole planetary field?
Our source material explains this field contribution beautifully. Every single wound you heal within yourself, every small act of kindness you offer, every moment of genuine stillness you manage to achieve, all of these send powerful, measurable ripples through the planetary grid. When you take time to meditate and reach coherence, when you create art from your truth, when you forgive yourself or someone else, when you simply choose love instead of reacting, you are actively contributing to the overall energetic stability of the entire world.
That's the ultimate confirmation, isn't it? That deep personal work, self-care. It's not selfish, it's essential global service.
Absolutely. And the sources point out the deepest truth here. The healing isn't just linear, just for you right now. When you successfully heal a pattern, clear a dense frequency in yourself, you don't just heal your current life, because the soul's lineage is all interconnected across time and space. Your personal activation actually helps heal generations past and future. Your moment of peace literally echoes through your entire ancestral line.
Wow. So we circle right back to the fundamental question that started this deep dive. After exploring the history, the frequency, the mission, how does someone listening know, with that inner certainty, that they are one of the 144,000?
And as we established, the answer won't be found on a chart or a certificate or in any external doctrine. Recognition is found entirely in vibration. Your soul already knows the truth. And it's a truth that doesn't need intellectual debate or defense. It's that deep, familiar feeling, the hum in your solar plexus, in your heart, when you hear phrases like light bearer or starseed. It's that profound sense of coming home to a truth you feel you've always known, somewhere deep inside.
So I really encourage you, the listener, to use this moment of awareness. Wherever you are, just pause for a second. Take a deep breath and let it go. Breathe right into your heart center. And ask yourself that ultimate question. Why did I come to Earth now? What was the commitment I made before I arrived?
And don't listen for loud words or affirmations. Listen for the quiet warmth, the feeling of recognition, that peaceful, gentle knowing that just rises up from within you effortlessly, that subtle inner resonance. That is your answer.
Because the ultimate powerful reminder running through all this material is this. The 144,000 were never meant to save the world, like some external rescue force. They came to remind the world of its own inherent divinity. They are the living proof that the divine walks in human skin, that heaven isn't some far-off place. It's a specific frequency moving right through the heart of every single being on this planet. Always.
So the prophecy isn't fulfilled by some dramatic single event down the line. It's fulfilled through a constant series of quiet individual choices made every single day.
That's the glorious culmination, isn't it?
It is. The prophecy is fulfilled the very moment an individual soul consciously chooses love over fear, unity over division, coherence over noise. That single conscious choice activates their unique part of the planetary crystalline grid, completing their contribution to the whole. As the old world kind of trembles under its own density and the new world template starts to glimmer more strongly, the 144,000 are steadily rising, luminous, stable, profoundly awake. They are the living bridge.
Maybe take a few moments today, just sit in stillness. As you breathe, imagine the whole planet wrapped in this beautiful crystalline net of blue and gold light, the colors of truth, compassion, sovereignty. See your own heart glowing brightly within that net, connected by threads of light to countless others all around the globe. Feel that warmth, that collective radiance spreading through your entire being. Know that you are a vital anchor point for peace right where you are.
You don't have to search for your mission anymore. You are the mission, and the world is awakening right alongside you. Welcome home, beloved. You are the 144,000.